The nation's sliding kindergarten attendance rate is significantly affecting the education of Australian kids, according to some new analysis. Some primary students without foundational literacy and numeracy skills were unable to recognise letters and numbers higher than 10. An international study found Australian Year 4 students were outperformed by 22 other countries last year, while the same group did finish in the top 10 in some other categories. Census data shows the proportion of children attending kindergarten has declined since 2016. Victoria has experienced the steepest drop, slipping nearly 15%. For more on this, joining us live is Thomson, the Deputy Chief Executive of the Australian Council for Educational Research. So appreciate your time. What did the study that you conducted, what did it tell us about how many of our kids are lacking those very basic maths and literacy skills when they start? And why is it? Does it all come down to that lower kindergarten attendance rate?
I think there's a number of factors there. Yes, the study showed that certainly the proportion of Australian students that are beginning primary school teachers without those foundational literacy skills is lower than the international average. Those foundational skills, just little things like recognising numbers, recognising shapes, letters of the alphabet, being able to do basic adding and subtracting. It is well below the international average, and it could be part of the contribution towards our lower score in maths that we see at Year 4 and 8. It's partly it must be partly due to the fact that fewer of our kids are enrolled in preschool education, and as you said, that's becoming more common, and particularly in less affluent areas. So we've already got a divide starting where we have children in affluent areas attending high quality early childhood education and children in less affluent areas not being able to access that same education. So that when they start school, they're already behind the eight ball, if you like. So those are the sorts of things that we should be looking at.
And so when you're talking about needing these skills by the time you start school, you're talking about prep or pre-primary, right? Not Year 1, which
yes, prep.
I think a lot of viewers sitting at home would be wondering where their child should be up to at certain levels. What should they be doing to get their kids to that required level?
There's lots of things they can do. I mean, I personally think that all kids should have access to good early childhood education, but as a parent, there's lots of things you can do with your kids as you're just sitting around or doing things with them. So just regular counting things, talking about halves and quarters of apples and oranges and things like that, making them understand that maths is just part of everyday life. It's not something separate. It's not just something you do at school, but it's something that we all do all the time. And same with letters of the alphabet and colours and shapes and all of those things. It's part of what parents should be doing, talking to their children about, about learning and about understanding things. I think in that way, when kids start school, they don't see maths as being something, oh my goodness, we're starting school, we do maths. It's not something different. It's something we do all the time when we're cooking, when we're doing our normal day-to-day jobs, when we're banking, all of those things. And kids need to develop those skills. So by making them part of everyday life, it's not something to worry about. And I think one of the things in this report that really worried me was that more than a quarter of our Year 4 students already say they don't like learning maths. And it goes to more than a half at secondary school level. But what is it about Year 4 maths that's making students so that they don't like it? I think that's a real worry.
And when you look, just back to what parents can be doing about this, it seems from your report that there are some broader problems here at home as well, with a lot of kids turning up to school tired, they're turning up hungry is one of the other findings, which would also obviously affect their learning. How big a problem is that aspect of just not preparing kids properly for the day ahead?
Absolutely. Well, that is a real problem, and I think that it's something that in a wealthy country like Australia, we don't imagine that's going to be the case. But we actually found that more than a third of our Year 4 students and around half of our Year 8 students said they come to school tired every day, and about a quarter of year 4 and 8 students also say they come to school hungry every day. Now, kids aren't learning properly if they're coming to school hungry. So parents need to make sure that students do have breakfast, that they do have something, substantial. Otherwise, they can't learn properly. They don't learn properly. Teachers know what a problem it is that, if kids have sugary food, they'll have that sugar high first thing in class, and then that slump soon afterwards. So I think all of those things contribute to what we need to be doing to make sure kids come to school with the best basis that they can.